We're not going to have any answers on Percy Harvin until he gets that second opinion. That'll be in New York on Tuesday. But what we can do is frame the question. And the question I have, is this a bigger deal for the team or for Percy Harvin? What I mean by that is they obviously acquired him to make a huge impact on the field. They gave up 3 draft choices, including this year's first rounder, and a whole boatload of money. They expect him to have an impact on the field. But in terms of looking at, this is just the start of his career, and this relationship with a player who, let's face it, was available because he didn't always see eye to eye with his former employer. So is it a bigger impact to the effect he's going to have on the field? Or is it about his relationship long-term with this team that hopes he's going to be part of a championship squad?
Yeah, I think, Danny, in the short term, for the here and the now with which we live, and there will be some news coming out, obviously, with the injury, but I think for the short term, it's more about the player. Because of that position group, because Golden Tate and Sidney Rice and Doug Baldwin and a lot of the nice weapons you have, because this is a run-first team, because they showed a year ago without his services on the field, that offense can still be very dynamic and the quarterback very special. In the short term, it's about the player. To me, it's about that personality. It's about how does he fit. It's about a second opinion. It's about all that kind of tangential, somewhat soap opera stuff that I am focusing and digging into. But over the long term and into next year, it's going to be very much about on the field.
They've paid enough money to him that there's not an uncertainty about whether or not he's going to be here next year. He's going to be a part of this, and he's going to be a significant part of this because of his salary. But that kind of gets to the heart of the question. Football's a brutal game. Guys get hurt all the time, and they need to get looked at and see if they need surgery. The problem with this one right here is you have a player with a history of kind of turbulence, and that things just seem to happen around him. And this is the situation. He should be most happy right now with his employer.
So what do you think? You think it's player? Do you think it right now is about the player or about the product on the field today?
I think that you're looking at the player. And I think even going into next year, it's about the player. They have other guys that can step up. And certainly if this goes sideways between Percy Harvin and the team, that's going to have an impact on the field because you've invested a significant amount in him. But the biggest deal is these are your first steps with a player who, as we said, kind of got it crossways with his previous employer.
Kind of.
You don't want that to happen again. You don't want, and if there's any cause for concern, is that right now should be the honeymoon period. He just got a new contract. You just got a new toy. And the fact that this is flaring up, maybe in a week it won't matter. Maybe he'll come back from New York and everything's going to be great. He'll be back on the field for game 1. But right now the uncertainty is about the relationship between player and team.
Funny you say that because my mother-in-law, one of the biggest squabbles in my marriage came one week in when I couldn't believe that we bought this $2,000 couch or $1,500 couch, and she was screaming the same thing, my mother-in-law. It shouldn't be like this. You're in the honeymoon stage. It shouldn't be like this, but it is.